Hello, beautiful people. My name is Marika Gare, and this is the Inspiration Trilogy podcast, a platform for women across the globe to come together, share wisdom and advice, and just have some meaningful conversations. So today's guest is Tracy Fryer, who is a graphic designer, soon to be podcaster, and a woman who has discovered the joys of alcohol-free living. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Rick. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Look, so for everybody out there who's listening today, tell us a little bit about you, your journey, and how you got to where you are.
Oh my goodness. Well, we might be out till Christmas if I give you the full load. So I'll start with a bit of my creative background. So I've always been a creative. I think my mom still has a drawing that I did when I was 2 of spiders of all things. And she loves to bring it out at the family barbecues. But yeah, so I studied visual arts and then studied graphic design afterwards. I've always had a side hustle, although it's now turned into a business, which is fantastic. So yeah, along the way, I've kind of always steered to having my own business in some way. And yeah, sorry, you were going to say?
So what made you take that leap from normal working lifestyle to making that step to start your business?
Of course. So I think it was probably COVID, to be honest with you. I had my freelance business, which was Trace Designs at the time. Being a bit of a creative, I have a jewellery design business as well. I had everything, the branding, the jewellery, the drawing under one umbrella. It was very confusing. COVID happened. It kind of was a rude awakening as to what am I doing with my life. I was employed at the time and I just was deeply unhappy in my job. And it wasn't my employees' fault by no means. It was just my inner desire to want something more from life, and I guess to just give as well, in a sense. So Don said to me the one day, Trace, you're so unhappy in your job. I'd rather you quit, and be unemployed and happy. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh my goodness. It was like a massive light bulb went on, and prayed for a sign. And I got that 2 weeks later. And and yeah, I'd saved a little nest egg and hit the ground running with Design Studio Perth.
Wow, I love that you took that step out of your comfort zone and just followed your dream. And we were chatting about this before we got on. So I remember meeting you quite a few years ago now, at our first meeting at some networking Christmas function.
Yes.
And we were both talking about our relatively new businesses and our dreams and aspirations. And you have gone on to achieve all of those and more. And it's so beautiful to see your journey and how you've grown. And it's just wonderful. So do you ever kind of look back on the person that you were and the person you are today and just, really surprise yourself on the journey and how far you've come?
Oh my goodness, Marika. Firstly, thank you so much. And likewise with you. It's been great to see how far you've come. And I do remember that networking Christmas celebration that we met at. And again, we just really gelled. I do. It's something I haven't always done, but I think the last sort of 2 years, I've really stopped to take time to reflect. Because I think being the person that I am, my mind goes 150 miles an hour. I'm extremely impatient and work in progress in that aspect. It's good. I try every quarter to stop and reflect. Might be looking at photographs. I journal every day. During my quarterly check-ins with myself, I'll really have a look, what I've achieved, what my team's achieved. And it just really makes you appreciate, those milestones so much more. Because what I found in that first year, I think I was very wound up in everything, as you are. I mean, it's a very exciting, but it's very consuming journey as well.
Yeah.
And I probably didn't stop and take it all in as much as what I should have. But yes, it's as you would know, being a business owner is very rewarding, but it also will show all your flaws like no one's business.
Yeah, and it's a catalyst for just your self-growth and reflection. And it's a bit like parenthood as well, in that it makes you reevaluate everything about yourself, and you're constantly growing and developing, and you're forced to kind of it just really delve into your inner depths. And it's just such a journey. So, and I understand, so going into your business, because you mentioned this previously.
Yes.
So you are quite the perfectionist as well. So how did your self-development in your business grow in that respect?
So again, my business has really shown me that I am, well, I'm a recovering perfectionist now, because I guess, when you do hold yourself to a certain standard, I mean, perfection doesn't exist, but you can sometimes drive yourself absolutely stark raving nuts trying to constantly, meet perfection, because it's not there. It's just unattainable ceiling that you're constantly striving for. So something my advisor said to me was, Trace, that, if you view everything as an experiment, life is an experiment, and if it doesn't work, you reassess, you look what needs to be done or how we can move forward, and then you go from there. And something else is that I've also learned is that not everything is going to work out perfectly, and at the end of the day, it's my expectations. It's my own expectations that I put on myself and others. And I'm not saying don't have any expectations, but sometimes having zero just leaves room, to be absolutely impressed because you haven't set this bar so high. So you can sort of, there's just room, I guess, for a bit more leeway, which is great. So I check in with myself every morning. I have a very, I want to say, dedicated morning routine. I'll get up. The first hour of my day is my date with myself. I'll journal. I'll pray. I will focus on what it means, to me, to actually be my values, look at what it means to be a leader, and just to remind myself every day, because it's very easy to get consumed by it all. And I have been consumed by it all, which wasn't a good thing.
Consumed and overwhelmed as well, because there's just so much. So I really love that you take that time each morning to do that, and it's a beautiful process, and it really helps to keep you grounded and focused for the day and on your goals and your future, desires. So and how did this journey into self-reflection develop into your decision to stop alcohol? Because, in Australia, and I guess, in some other countries
South Africa
as well. Like years ago when I grew up, alcohol was just part of our culture, and it's so normalized. And if you went to a party or somewhere and you didn't drink, you were ostracized for being different and strange because you didn't drink. But it's not. It's not kind of a normal activity. I mean, in all reality, it's a culture that can get just override things too much,
It can, and it's just acceptable norms as well.
Yeah. So how have you found your journey into the sober lifestyle?
Yeah, of course. So it was probably about 2 years ago, 21. I'd really tried to sort of have healthy boundaries with my wines and my Prosecco's and espressos. And I just found, again, because like you mentioned, it's so ingrained in our culture, whether you're from Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, it's just a part of what you do. Like if you want to wind down, you have a red wine. You want to celebrate, you have Prosecco, you go to a hen's do, you have espresso. So every single event of our life is associated with alcohol in some way. And I think for me, I didn't have healthy boundaries with it. So it was December the 16th, 2021. I went to a networking event, and it was a whole long day event. And I think I had around 5 glasses of Moët, and it was just like a tap went off. I decided the next day that I had to make some sort of change because, waking up with a hangover and trying to step into your higher self. I found with having booze in my life, it just wasn't letting me do that. So my husband actually stopped drinking about a month before, and I thought, he's nuts. No way, never me. I love my espressos and my Prosecco. And again, after going to that event, it was like the universe just spoke to me and said, like, this is enough. And so I had my last glasses of Moët on the 16th of December. So I'll be 2 years alcohol free this year, which is a miracle.
Wow.
I think just that journey of self really I find it kind of blurred my senses when I did have it as part of my life.
Absolutely. And, it's interesting that you say we kind of have it to relax and unwind, but it has the adverse effects because you wake up feeling like crap. 100%. It can actually, it interferes with your mental health. It can cause depression. There's so many, health issues and all those sorts of things. So it's not actually doing anything good for us. And in some cases, with some people going too far, it can have even worse effects, So
100%.
So are you completely sober, or do you still drink on special occasions?
No, I'm completely sober. So I just decided, because with me, again, I couldn't have those healthy boundaries with it. And again, in terms of, it makes you feel depressed, you put on weight. I think with my business, it really pushed me into a frame of mind of letting go of that that no longer serves me. And I think alcohol for me just probably took a lot more than what it was giving. So really just looking at my health for the beginning of this year, I stopped making excuses and blaming my genetics and my big bone structure. And I was introduced to a wonderful lady through my business advisor who really just helped me get clear on, I guess, my biological roadmap and what my body works with, what it doesn't. And so, yeah, just really did the hard yards like anything in life. If you want something, you have to put the hard work in. There's no shortcuts. I've tried. And, just getting up Monday to Friday as part of my morning routine. After that, after I've meditated, prayed and journaled, I will then go to gym. And I just find, putting my health first has really been a massive game changer in how I operate in terms of mental clarity. And also when we have our own business and we place ourselves as a leader for our team or in a community, we have to show up in a certain way because, without realizing, so many people often look up to us, which is something I've had to learn because I never thought that would be the case. You have to be mindful of how you carry yourself in different situations.
Yeah. Wow, I just think you've come so far since we first met, and I really love that your journey of going on that sober path, because it is challenging in our environment, and when you're going to different functions and things like that. I mean, I myself, I wouldn't say I'm 100% sober, but I haven't really drunk for about 6 years now. Wow. I'll have a drink once in a blue moon on Christmas or something, but just a glass or two, and it's just, I don't feel the need for it anymore. I'm confident and happy without it. It's just kind of, you don't need that buffer once you accept that all of yourself, I guess.
Yes, definitely. And it's, by the sounds of things, you have really good boundaries with it as well. So something I've learned is that Coke Zero looks ever so fancy in a wine glass. There's a difference. And again, there's so many great sort of alcohol-free options out there now, which is good. So, if you still want to have a bit of a treat or associate it with, a bit of a, say you don't have FOMO like I sometimes get, you can still have those, which is good.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. So where do you see yourself moving in the next couple of years? What have you planned for the future?
Oh my goodness, Marie. Well, what I've learned is nothing ever goes according to plan, but it's good to have one. So, wow, Design Studio Perth, the team is growing. We will most likely be moving more into a digital marketing space. Branding and marketing are so closely aligned. As you mentioned, we have the podcast launching soon, which is exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time. It's been a few months in the making, so we'll probably be launching that in the new year. We started recording, which is exciting. And that's I think exciting. Yeah, and I think a bit like your podcast, just being able to be of service to others, and you never know who might hear your podcast, and you might inspire someone and change the entire trajectory of their life, which is really, really great as well. So
yeah, and that's what it's all about, right?
Yes,
definitely. Oh, beautiful. So for anyone out there listening who wants to reach out to you, learn more about your podcast, perhaps be a guest or anything else, what's the best places to contact you?
Yeah, of course. So the podcast that is launching is called The Real Biz Life Chronicles. It will be launching next year. So if you have a look for now, you won't find it, but we have started recording. So once that's up, the best place to probably, follow Design Studio Perth's journey is LinkedIn. So we do share a lot of our the podcast information and some great tips around branding as well on there. And then we also have a full branding library of great tips and strategies on how to actually brand your business effectively. And if someone needs advice on copywriting or logo design or what to think of in those different areas of branding, more than happy for you to flick us an email at team@designstudioperth.com.au and let us know what you're after, and we can share a bit of content with you that way.
Beautiful. And what about your jewellery business? Where's that at the moment?
Oh my goodness. So that's my other passion project at the moment. So my main focus, 85% of my life, is Design Studio Perth. Trace Designs Bespoke is predominantly word of mouth at this point in time. Again, I've learned there's only 24 hours in a day, and it's not good to be one of those. So I still do the jewelry design. I have a wonderful husband and wife team that are Perth-based that make for me, but I do the designing. And I guess, once Design Studio Perth is set up to function a bit more without me, I might focus a bit more on Trace Designs Bespoke to kick that off a bit more. But I love having both. And I've often been told you have to choose one, but having studied both, I really enjoy, not that balance exists, but it helps me feel more balanced, having branding and the jewelry design as well. And also jewelry is so romantic. I mean, branding can be as well, but there's all that romance and, you know, the nerves. And I just think it's so lovely. I'm a hopeless romantic though, so.
If anyone's got this a beautiful relationship and they're taking that next step to get engaged or get married, they can reach out to you and design their
100%
own. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, listen, look, we'll put the links and information of everything down below.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you so much for coming on today. And just quickly before we finish up, what is your favourite quote that motivates you on a regular basis? What's your...
Oh my goodness. It would have to be "This too shall pass." And again, you know, it's just when you go, that's more for when you're going through those sort of hard days of the business roller coaster where it's a bit of struggle town. I really love to focus on that. But when you are having the great days, I think, you know, just even quotes aside, just being really grateful for what you experience. And I sometimes wish I could bottle up those feelings, you know, when you first got to go ahead on your proposal or whatever the case may be, just to bottle those feelings up. And that's why I journal. I really write how I'm feeling in that moment. And I'll often go back, reflect, which is good, and refill my cup on those bad days where the roller going through a dark tunnel. So
yeah, and that's similar to what I do as well. And it just gives you that little boost and you can kind of, you know, just zone back into that moment where you were.
Yes,
so
definitely. And then I was watching the rugby and I actually heard a great one. It was greatness doesn't happen in ideal situations. So that really resonated with me as well, because I think, you know, when you're going through the strife and think, oh my goodness, what have I done? I should have stayed in my day job. But it's really those hard moments where you come out stronger on the other side and you realize how it all lines up and makes sense, right?
Yeah, because without that, we wouldn't grow and we wouldn't develop and we wouldn't gain that strength. So it's so important.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Once again, thanks again for coming on today. Anyone out there who would like to chat to Tracy, you can reach out to her on the channels below. And thanks all the listeners for today. We'll have more episodes up soon. Bye.
Thank you.